Okay, here we are. This is Red Scarf Girl. This is the opening pages of the ebook. And let's get to the first chapter. Contents. So these are all the chapters. I put the chapter numbers on a Google Doc on Google Classroom. So if you need to know what chapter number we're doing, I have that associated with the titles. But let's keep going. Note to the reader, forward, prologue. Here we go. It's chapter 1, The Liberation Army Dancer. Chairman Mao, our beloved leader, smiled down at us from his place above the blackboard. The sound and smells of the tantalizing May afternoon drifted in through the window. The sweet breeze carried the scent of new leaves and tender young grass and rippled the paper slogan below Chairman Mao's picture, study hard and advance every day. In the corner behind me, the breeze also rustled the papers hanging from the students' garden, a beautifully decorated piece of cardboard that displayed exemplary work. One of them was my latest perfect math test. We were having music class, but we couldn't keep our minds on the teacher's directions. We were all confused by the two-part harmony of the Young Pioneers anthem. We are young pioneers, successors to communism. Our red scarves flutter on our chests. We sang over and over, trying to get the timing right. The old black pump organ wheezed and squeaked as impatiently as we did. We made another start, but Wang Dayong burst out a beat early, and the whole class broke into laughter. Just then, Principal Long appeared at the door. She walked in, looking less serious than usual, and behind her was a stranger, a beautiful young woman dressed in the People's Liberation Army uniform, a Liberation Army soldier. She was slim and stood straight as a reed. Her eyes sparkled, and her long braids, tied with red ribbons, swung at her waist. There was not a sound in the classroom, as all 40 of us stared at her in awe. Principal Long told us to stand up. The woman soldier smiled but did not speak. She walked up and down the aisles, looking at us one by one. When she finished, she spoke quietly with Principal Long. Tong Chao and Jiang Ji Li, Principal Long announced, "Come with us to the gym." A murmur rose behind us as we left the room. Tong Chao looked at me, and I looked at him in wonder as we followed the swinging braids. The gym was empty. "I want to see how flexible you are. Lift your leg." "Or let me lift your leg," the Liberation Army woman said in her gentle voice. She raised my right leg over my head in front of me. "Very good. Now I'll support you. Lean over backward as far as you can." That was easy. I bent backward until I could grab my ankles like an acrobat. "That's great," she said, and her braids swung with excitement. "This is Jiang Ji Li," Principal Long leaned forward profoundly. "She's been studying martial arts since the 2nd grade. She was on the Municipal Children's Martial Arts team. Their demonstration was even filmed." The Liberation Army woman smiled sweetly. "That was very good. Now you may go back to your classroom." She patted me on the head before she turned back to test Tong Chao. I went back to class, but I could not remember the song we were singing. What did the Liberation Army woman want? Could she want to choose me for something? It was too much to contemplate. I hardly moved when the bell rang to end school. Someone told me that the principal wanted to see me. I walked slowly down the hall, surrounded by my shouting and jostling classmates, seeing only the beautiful soldier, feeling only the electric tingle of her soft touch on my head. The office door was heavy. I pushed it open cautiously. Some students from the other 6th grade classes were there already. I noticed Wang Qi, a girl in class 2, and one of the boys, Yu Xiaofan, of class 4. I didn't know the other boy. The 3 of them sat nervously and respectfully opposite Principal Long. I slipped into the chair next to them. Principal Long leaned forward from her big desk. "I know you must be wondering about the Liberation Army soldier," she said. She sounded cheerful and excited. "Why did she come? Why did she want you to do backbends?" She looked at us one by one and then took a long sip from her tea mug as if she wanted to keep us guessing. She was Comrade Lee from the Central Liberation Army Arts Academy. I slowly took a deep breath. "She is recruiting students for the dance training class. She selected you four to audition. It is a great honor for Sheen Air Primary School. I'm very proud of all of you, and I know you'll do your best." I did not hear the rest of her words. I saw myself in a new Liberation Army uniform, slim and standing straight as a reed, long braids swinging at my waist. A Liberation Army soldier, one of the heroes admired by all, who helped Chairman Mao liberate China from oppression and defeated the Americans in Korea. and a performer, just like my mother used to be, touring the country, the world to tell everyone about the new China that Chairman Mao had built and how it was becoming stronger and stronger. I couldn't help giving Wang Chi a silly smile. Mom, Dad, Grandpa, I panted up the steep, dark stairs in too much of a hurry to turn on the light and tripped over some pots stored on the steps. I couldn't wait to tell them my news. I knew they would be all as excited as I was. Our apartment was bright and warm and welcoming. Burgundy curtains shut the darkness outside and made one big room even cozier. In the front of the hall, the tall French window, our square mahogany table was covered with steaming dishes and surrounded by my family who were laughing and chattering when I rushed in. They all looked up expectantly. Everybody, guess what? Today, a Liberation Army woman came to school and she tested me and she wants me to audition for the Central Liberation Arts Academy. Just think, I could be in the Liberation Army and I could be a performer too. Isn't that great? I picked up our cat, Little White, and gave her a big kiss. It's lucky I studied martial arts for so long. When the Liberation Army woman saw my back bend, she just loved it. I twirled around on my toes and snapped my heels together in a salute. Comrade Grandma, Jiang Ji Li reporting. My younger brother, Ji Yang, jumped up from the table and saluted me. My little sister, Ji Yun, started to twirl around as I had done, but she slipped and fell. We jumped to the floor with her and rolled around together. Ji Li, I heard Dad call. I looked up. Mom and Dad and Grandma were looking at each other solemnly. It might be better not to do the audition. Dad spoke slowly, but his tone was serious, very serious. What? Don't do the audition, Ji Li. He looked straight at me this time and sounded much more forceful. Don't do the audition. Why not? Dad shook his head. I grabbed Mom's arm. Mom, why not? She squeezed my hand and looked at me worriedly. Your father means that the recruitment requirements are very strict. Wow, you really scared me, Dad. I laughed with relief. I know that. Principal Long told us it would be very competitive. I know it's just an audition, but who knows? I might be lucky, right? I picked up a steam bun and took a bite. I'm not just talking about talent, Dad said. There are more important requirements, political considerations. Oh, Dad, that's no problem. I took another big bite out of the bun. I was an outstanding student, an excellent young pioneer, and even the Da Dui Zhang, the student chairman of the whole school. What more could they want? My mouth was full, so I stretched out my arm to show Dad my Da Dui Zhang badge, my plastic tag with three red stripes. I saw pain in my dad's eyes that I had never seen before. The problem isn't with yourself, Ji Li. What I mean is the political background investigations at these academies are very severe. Political background investigation, what is that? That is an investigation into the class status of your ancestors and all members of your family. He leaned back in his chair and the lampshade put his face in shadow. Ji Li, the fact is that our family will not be able to pass these investigations, he said slowly. And you will not be allowed to be a member of the Liberation Army performing troupe. For a long time, I did not speak. Why? I whispered at last. He started to say something, but stopped. He leaned forward again, and I could see the sorrow in his face. It's very complicated, and you wouldn't understand it now even if I told you. Maybe we should wait until you're grown up. The point is that I don't think you'll be admitted, so just drop it, all right? I did not say anything. Putting down the half-eaten bun, I walked to the mirror on the big wardrobe that divided the room and pressed my forehead against its cool surface. I could not hold back any longer. I burst out crying. I want to do it. I want to try. What will I tell Principal Long and my classmates? I wailed. Maybe we should let her try. She probably won't be chosen anyways. Grandma looked at Dad. Dad stood up, heaving a deep sigh. This is for her own good. Her classmates and teachers will just be surprised if she says that her father won't let her go. But what if she passes the audition and can't pass the political background investigation? Then everyone will know that the family has a political problem. Dad's voice grew louder and louder as he went on. Ji Yang and Ji Yun were looking up at Dad wide-eyed.